Hey guys, it's February 15th, 2021. Let's talk about Palantir. Um, Market is closed today, but Palantir will be releasing their 2020 Q4 results pre-market tomorrow. So I'll start with a technical analysis on their chart. So it looks like Palantir has been basically trending between $39 and 31.21. So um, tomorrow, the expectation is that the consensus for analysts and most people who have been tracking them is that they're going to do well with their Q4 earnings. So we're looking for a push up from them tomorrow because of their earnings being good. Uh, some are expecting around a mid to around like 35 $36 target range. So I'm looking at possibly that going all the way up to like 38, following its previous trend, right? So, but we do know that the overall sentiment is going to be very positive. They've got quite a bit of uh, contracts to show, which we'll go over once we go over this technical analysis portion. So MACD is looking like it's it's doing its wave item. The RSI is fair. It's at the 50 range, so we're looking pretty good on a daily time frame. Um, on the hourly, we have been sitting on the very low end of the oversold. So we're quite oversold, and we're looking at the MACD to actually start moving upwards. So we've seen a crossover here over the signal. So with the catalyst tomorrow, we're expecting this to kind of ride this up along this line. This is kind of the only item I have right now to build any possibility of what angle it may ride. So we'll see how the day unfolds. But we definitely, from what I'm seeing, the consensus, it's going to be a trend up. Okay, so that's pretty much the chart portion. So I'm going to go more into what the company is. So for those who don't know Palantir is basically a big data analytics, data science company that's embedded in a lot of government contracts. And they're trying to expand from there. So they have three major products slash services. One is Foundry. Basically, this is kind of like their interpretation of modeling information and being able to present that in a manner where it's usable. That's derived from multiple sources. And the great thing about it is it has a simulation engine attached to it, right? So you can actually go in there, tweak the numbers, and see how that affects downstream processes. So that's a really very powerful feature with them, that you can see these things. And I think I've read or brushed on a case study where they were working with a client that had an ERP system, and within a couple hours, I believe they were able to save the company a large amount in like the tens of millions of dollars, adjusting their ERP system within a couple hours of deployment. So that's pretty phenomenal. So that second point in there is, what takes months now takes hours. So they are definitely a front running company that is bringing a lot of analytical power, real time, to organizations that just has large amounts of data, but can't really shift to it to understand what they need to look at and how to adjust things for better efficiency and understanding their business better. So that's Foundry. Gotham and Apollo are more on the government side. It has to do with a lot of brokering of like data feeds of like satellite imagery, drone imagery, on ground from troops and that kind of stuff, and meshing it into a command center. Apollo helps deploy that technology, allowing Gotham to exist much easier. So those two kind of work hand in hand. I'm not going to go really too much into that. What you could possibly do is just do a YouTube search on Palantir Demo Day, and that should give you about a 1 hour video. You can watch what it is. So the big thing is they're a major defense contractor, and they're looking to expand out of that. So they're not. That's not going to be a risk to them, as what a lot of analysts in the past have pointed to. All right. So one of the things that so tomorrow there's some important dates. They're going to do their 2020 Q4 report pre-market. So we're looking for a good day with that for a bullish run. How far it actually goes, nobody really knows that. But if anything was to follow the past, we'll look at the $38, $39 mark to being achievable. So, but the thing you guys want to keep in mind is that the next item on this list that we are going through is that employee share lockup expires 3 days after Q4 results. So if today was or tomorrow would be the Q4 results pre-market, that means Friday is when employees can sell their shares. So there is an expected dip to occur from that. Okay, so me personally, I would probably exit my position Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening. Just at the latest. It may occur beforehand, just based on what the price action is doing. So again, guys, just FYI, I am not a financial advisor. I am not a professional trader. This is just what I'm looking at, my interpretations, and what my plays are. All right, so contracts wise, we're going to look at the Q4 2020. Basically, this is all the items that have been publicized in that quarter, totaling of about 326.9 million, basically 327. And so that's kind of like right now the consensus is like around 300 million. So it may beat, but we'll see how actually everything pans out as far as like the employee compensation, that kind of stuff, that usually isn't reflected on this quick addition of contract information. But also most of these are what as you can see, they're practically government. They're all government. So we don't know if there were any commercial or private sectors that were noted, but because they are very secretive in what they do, so there may not be any news articles that we can identify above that. But to combat that problem, they have expanded out, and in Q1, which hasn't been realized yet, but there'll be, they are working with the FDA, of course that is U.S. government, but Fujitsu and Sampo in Japan. So they are worldwide. I believe I see it on their website. They have about 125 clients. So we don't really know who they are with, right? But one of the big items that they did announce recently is a partnership with IBM. And IBM has a lot of customers. So that is going to be a massive boon to them outside of government entities. So I think we will see a lot more with Palantir. But tomorrow should be a good day for them. So one thing to note, as some analysts would indicate out there, why they're very hesitant about Palantir, is because they saw a negative cash flow for the first 6 months of 2020. And the reason why is because most of those previous multi-year contracts were paid up front. So they got basically a lot of the funds, if not all of them, up front, and instead of spanning, the couple years that the contract was for, or for a length of a year. So that will look bad on the balance sheet, but in technicality, it was just all paid in front. Okay. The other items are we don't really know what commercial or private contracts they did, and of course the consensus with the analysts and what Palantir has reported. Okay, so that was pretty much the gist of Palantir's at Q4. I mean, they're doing pretty well. I'll have to look over the year over year, but I believe they are, I think, 40% year over year. So I'll have to pull up those hard numbers and see. But kind of wanted to get this content out before, indicate the overall sentiment is very positive. In time for tomorrow's play. All right, guys. Happy trading and good luck tomorrow.